Hello, and welcome to Bobcat Report. I'm Kevin Stevenson, and they're finding new ways to deal with opioid addiction.
And some local residents are concerned about a proposed pipeline, a natural gas line that will cross Hays County. Those stories and more coming right up.
In America, there's been an over 300% increase in opioid-involved deaths over the past 3 years. In this area specifically, an old remedy is being applied to a new problem.
Kevin, methadone clinics are making a comeback from the 60s. Originally created to treat heroin addiction, methadone maintenance is becoming increasingly popular for people who are addicted to prescription pills as well as heroin. The route to recovery is crucial during the nation's opiate crisis. Methadone clinics are proving to be more effective than other, more traditional addiction programs.
Methadone is a medication-assisted drug, and it's completely legal. Anyone that's on opiates or addicted to opiates, it helps them. It's a blocker. It helps them stop from using and having the cravings, the nausea, and vomiting.
A bunch of my friends had tried to deter me from going to the clinic. They said it was a stupid and bad idea. Why are you going to do that? And my parents saw track marks on my arm, and that's what eventually got me to get into treatment. And if not for that, I might not even be here today. So I've been attending the clinic since I was 21. I'm about to be 29 in July. It's been exponentially successful in my life. I have not relapsed one time, and it's been amazing for me.
The average timing that a person might attend is 2 to 3 years. Average age is 18 and up, and we're getting more younger people because now the older generation is telling the younger ones about how the methadone works, and so it's becoming more of a younger population than the older crowd. The doctor will see the patient, has to see the patient on the first initial intake, and then after that, the first year, he'll see them every 3 months. But if they're having issues in between, he will see them to address it. And the counselor does see the patient once a month or twice a month to address their needs, housing, clothing, education, and unemployment, or any issues that they having, to make sure they get what they need so they can go ahead and live a safe recovery.
So when I was 21, my parents saw what was going on. They called several rehab centers, and the price was just too much, and other places told her that they would put me on Xanax, which ultimately would lead me down the same path I was already on. And so the best goal for me was to ultimately go to the methadone clinic and try to detox that way. The methadone clinic has helped me in so many ways. I don't have to worry about getting my next fix on the street. It's regulated. I see a doctor, I see a counselor on a regular basis. It's, I know I'm gonna get my dose every day at 8 o'clock, or, when I'm gonna get it. It's changed my life. It's made me be able to be who I actually am rather than be an addicted fiend, I guess.
Each day, 115 people are killed by opioid abuse. It's time to stop the stigma about addiction and start focusing on the proper treatments. Studies show that methadone maintenance is more effective in curing heroin users than a 180-day detox program is. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, please don't hesitate to get the help you need. For Bobcat Report, I'm Julia Nicholson.
We've been aware of it for some time. San Marcos is a fast-growing city, but this growth also brings an increase in violent crimes. Gino Perez has more on how you can keep safe.
This year, San Marcos has seen an increase in crime, from the number of assaults at apartment complexes to the 4 murders. University Police Sergeant Chris Cost says that the biggest thing that students and residents can do to increase their chances of deterring a break-in is to lock your doors.
We've had some recent incidents on campus and off campus, but involving our Texas State students that I wouldn't say could have been prevented, but could have had a lot better outcome had their doors been locked.
Texas State provides its students with a variety of safety options. For example, the use of the emergency call phones that are located all around the campus, the Bobcat Guardian app that is free to Texas State students that has a panic button which can tell police where you are located in case of an emergency. Texas State student Nicolette Mendoza says she had a close encounter with someone that wanted to break into her home.
I got kind of nervous, but I thought maybe I'm just overthinking. And then he started trying to get into my apartment. He's picking the lock. So that's when I was like, hey, what are you doing? Like, why are you trying to get in my apartment? And then he ran off. So you should definitely be careful. Make sure you're always locking your doors.
The University Police Department provides the students with these pamphlets, which gives students information on what they should do in case of an emergency. If you see something, say something. For Bobcat Report, I'm Gino Perez.
Some San Marcos residents might be getting some unwelcome neighbors. A gas company wants to put in a pipeline that might go right through your own backyard, and there could be nothing you could do about it. Shelby Chu has looked into it.
Kevin, pipeline company Kinder Morgan has proposed an underground pipeline that would go right through Hays County. The proposed plan would begin construction this fall. Kinder Morgan plans to use eminent domain to displace some area residents. Texas State's Dr. Andrew Sansom, an environmentalist and founder of the Texas Park and Wildlife Foundation, has joined a lawsuit against Kinder Morgan to fight this proposed pipeline. This is Dr. Andrew Sansom.
I am the lead plaintiff, along with Hays County and the city of Kyle, in challenging this pipeline based on its unconstitutionality and improper use of eminent domain.
Pulling eminent domain refers to the power of the government to take private property and convert it into public use. The Fifth Amendment provides that the government may only pull eminent domain if they provide just compensation to the property owners. So what does this mean for the people of San Marcos?
In the case of a pipeline, a private company just calls you or writes you a letter and says, we're going to take your property and build a pipeline across it.
But there are other factors that must be considered. This pipeline would disrupt thousands of acres of natural land, displacing wildlife, people, and interfering with underground sources of water like the Edwards Aquifer. There's also the concern that this pipeline could be used to carry other things than natural gas, like jet fuel or crude oil. If these oils were to leak, the results could be disastrous.
And if you had a leak or an explosion or some breach of the pipeline over the Edwards Aquifer, then you could contaminate the water that comes out of Spring Lake right here, the primary water supply for the city of San Antonio. So the entire aquifer is potentially at risk.
So what can you do to voice your concerns about the Permian pipeline? Contact your state representative. The Supreme Court is expected to reach a decision by the end of this week, but if that decision were to be appealed, we could expect this court case to go all the way to the Supreme Court. With Bobcat Report, I'm Shelby Chu.
One of our most cherished constitutional rights is getting some pushback lately, and the construction at the university bookstore is causing a few problems. Those stories when we come back.
Looking for something new and exciting to do in San Marcos? The Texas State Meadow Center has waves of activities for you. Learn about native wildlife and endangered species in Spring Lake. Dive in and explore the interactive exhibit in the Discovery Hall. Swim over and enjoy the view from the Wetlands Boardwalk. Soak up all the beautiful scenery Spring Lake has to offer. Take sail on the one-of-a-kind glass-bottom boat tours. Take a look at history in Spring Lake stretching back to the last ice age. The tours give you the opportunity to see the 200 artesian springs that make up Spring Lake. The Meadow Center is located at 201 San Marcos Spring Drive and is open every day from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. So what are you waiting for? Visit the Meadow Center today.
The First Amendment guarantee of freedom of speech has come under fire lately. Some groups are concerned that their freedom of speech is being stifled, while others are being encouraged. Aranza took a look at the issue.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed multiple bills in the session that ended last week, including Senate Bill 18, a new law that aims to protect free speech on college campuses. In a video posted to Twitter, Abbott addresses the issue and shows himself signing the bill.
Shouldn't have to do it. First Amendment guarantees it. Now, it's law in Texas.
SB 18 also puts in place disciplinary sanctions for student organizations or faculty who interfere with the expressive activities of others.
They're gonna keep arresting people. We gotta scoot back.
UPD Captain Patrick Cochran says this law will not affect Texas State since the campus has always allowed free speech.
From the KKK to whatever else, we are here to ensure that they have the right to say what they want to say because this is a public place and the First Amendment guarantees you that right.
16 other states have passed similar bills, raising the question as to why the First Amendment is not enough. Texas campuses have until December of this year to present their action plan to the state. For Bobcat Report, I'm Aranza Talamas. As summertime construction ramps up at Texas State, the university bookstore has gotten in on the trend. We sent Jason Harlan to go check it out.
While there isn't going to be any demolition, bookstore shoppers and employees have had to deal with constant construction since May 20th.
So every day we do have to move things around and make sure that areas that are being worked on are blocked off so customers or employees don't get hurt or no accidents happen. So
the changes are purely cosmetic, hopefully bringing the student center into the future. Everyone in the bookstore has had to stay on the path laid out with construction tape. The staff has been trying their hardest to make everything accessible to customers who they admit might be a bit disoriented by the chaos. Incoming freshman Madeline Mazel says the renovations don't bother her.
I mean, it's a little difficult, getting around the building, but as a whole, it doesn't really affect, disorganization. I think that it's cool that they're making a lot of changes. I think that, in order for things to get renovated and for things to get better, there has to be a little disorganization, so.
With the freshmen getting their IDs and the construction workers, there's hardly any room on the path. Even with all the chaos, the bookstore still encourages students to come by and get what they need. Though construction is slated through the month of June, the bookstore will not change any of its hours. For Bobcat Report, I'm Jason Harlan.
After the break, local veterinarians are concerned about a problem facing cats, and a look at how our food bank is dealing with food insecurity.
Many San Marcos Middle School and high school students have trouble navigating their way into college. Without proper mentorship, they may not have the tools they need to get into their dream school. Thank goodness for Rural Talent Search, a program dedicated to the success of lower income and first-generation students in San Marcos, Texas. To be eligible for Rural Talent Search, a student must attend either Miller Middle School, Goodnight Middle School, or San Marcos High School and demonstrate a desire to attend college. Rural Talent Search provides participants help with SAT and ACT tests, financial literacy, scholarship essay writing, and resumes. It's even available during the summer. Rural Talent Search is not just for admittance to Texas State, but preparation for any college or university. Real Talent Search also accepts applications from social work majors and psychology majors looking for internship opportunities. For more information, please visit Rural Talent Search online. Jumpstart your future. Submit an application today.
The San Marcos Regional Animal Shelter has shut down cat intake and adoptions after a highly contagious virus killed between 50 to 60 cats. A litter of kittens and the mother that came into the shelter with signs of upper respiratory infection seem to have been the cause of the outbreak. Reporter Callie Sherrill has the story.
Shelter staff members ran multiple tests of the kittens only to find they were infected with feline panleukopenia, which is parvo for cats. However, by the time this was confirmed, the virus spread throughout the shelter. Assistant Director of Neighborhood Enhancement, Darianne Kaprinsky states.
So we have ceased intake, we've ceased adoptions. The only way to get this under control is to clear the shelter basically of cats, clear out anything that might have been contaminated, scrub things 3 times over with the right products, and hopefully rid the shelter of it.
This virus attacks the feline's intestines and bone marrow. It is also 80% lethal to those who have a weak immune system or for those who have not been vaccinated.
One of our 2 cats was already vaccinated by the shelter itself, but the other one was not because they had just gotten him in. So what we had to do was we had to wait to adopt him until they already vaccinated him.
Shelter staff and volunteers are working to decontaminate the shelter, while Austin Pets Alive rescued the remaining 71 cats and kittens to prevent further deaths by providing the medical care needed.
Do it for this one. You might be able to put one little one.
Shelter officials are hoping to take cats in on an emergency basis by early next week, but until then they stress that pet owners vaccinate their cats and kittens. For Bobcat Report, I'm Callie Sherrill.
Since its last report in 2016, almost 25,000 Hayes County residents live below the poverty line. Many residents often have to choose between necessities such as food, shelter, and more. Reporter Cody Huffman stopped by the Hayes County Food Bank to see what actions were being made to help the residents in this area.
This Texas heat is not the only thing affecting San Marcos residents. Food insecurity is impacting locals and students just as bad. However, Hayes County Food Bank and other local partners continue to fight back on decreasing those numbers by providing healthy foods to those in need. The food bank has helped feed over 100,000 people in need across Hayes County. Jessica Cruz said that 1 in 7 Hayes County residents still are food insecure.
Our clients the people that we give food to can be anywhere from like really young, starting out families. It can be higher income people, but maybe they have like a medical emergency. So really, hunger affects everybody in this county, and our clients and the people that we serve kind of reflect that.
Hayes County Food Bank has partnerships with Central Texas Food Bank, Nighthawk Frozen Foods, and has recently partnered with Bobcat Bounty, the first student-run food bank at Texas State. Mallory Bove said that this partnership helps target students, staff, and faculty to help decrease hunger at Texas State.
So it's a great resource for students who cannot come to our distribution student class timing or transportation. It's right there on campus, walking distance for most students. They can get a lot of great things, fresh food, fruits, vegetables.
Hayes County Food Bank and its partners provide meals at no cost, and they are accepting donations every day of the week. For Bobcat Report, I'm Cody Huffman.
That's Bobcat Report for this week. I'm Aranstela Mas. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Kevin Stevenson. We'll be back again next week, and you can catch us on our YouTube channel. Until then, goodbye.